Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide. It's your guy Big Will, and I'm back with this boxing talk. What's good with your fam? Hey, listen, man. Legendary promoter, the head honcho for Top Rank, Bob Arum. He was over in the UK today, man, to announce the fight between WBO welterweight champion Terence Crawford and Amir Khan. Now, while he was over there, there were a number of media outlets, a number of reporters there, asking him all types of questions, man. But you know, the number one question that people were wanting to know about was Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr., man. The reporter asked him, how frustrating is it that, they could not get a deal done between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. And he asked him, about working with Al Haymon and how hard is it for him to, sit down with Al Haymon and negotiate. Now, we know in recent media, man, we heard Bob Arum call Al Haymon the cancer to boxing. He's saying the guy don't exist. You know what I mean? He said a lot of things about Al Haymon. But today, when the reporter asked him about, Terence Crawford's future, this is what the legendary promoter Bob Arum had to say. Take a listen.
Look what's happening in boxing. All the other promoters are cooperating with each other. This match wouldn't have happened without Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. Frank will tell you that. They cooperated with us. We're doing another fight down the line with a fighter named Burchell, 130-pound champion, against Oscar De La Hoya's fighter, Francisco Vargas. The only promoter in the world that will not allow his fighters to fight anybody else is Al Haymon and PBC. So don't say that promoters, won't make fights, that promoters protect their fighters. There is one culprit and one culprit only in boxing, and that's Al Haymon and PBC. And if he wants to stick his people in this really small bundle that he has, fighting each other, not fighting, he's entitled to do it, but he's hurting the sport of boxing. I don't think Haymon and PBC is doing a service for boxing. Every other promoter shares their fighters, puts fighters in with the other guys' fighters. There's never a problem as long as the fight is right. With Haymon, it's impossible. He keeps his fighters internally fighting each other. He doesn't do great business with them. I don't know where he's coming from, but, that doesn't help to grow the sport.
Now, my question to you all is, does Bob Arum's statement have some validity to it? You know what I'm saying? Is Al Haymon hurting the sport of boxing, man? We know that Top Rank had reached out to Danny Garcia before reaching out to Amir Khan. They had offered Danny Garcia a $3 million purse to fight Terence Crawford. Opportunity to win the WBO welterweight championship, and plus the $3 million purse. And it was shot down immediately. Now, I gotta admit that, that offer was like a sucker offer. You know what I'm saying? Why would Danny Garcia take that offer when he's making that money already on the PBC side? So why cross the street and go over here and, leave the guys that's been loyal to me, that's been holding me down, and go over here and fight for you for the same money? Now, but at the same time, there was no negotiations. You know what I'm saying? No negotiations at all. They just shot the deal down and did not want to negotiate. You know what I'm saying? Even, when you get an offer, you know what I'm saying? If it's not the number you want, the normal thing to do would be shoot a counter offer. You know what I'm saying? That's just business, period. Shoot a counter offer. But there was no counter offer that I know of that was made by Al Haymon and the PBC or Danny Garcia's team. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to think about what Eddie Hearn has been saying. Eddie Hearn has said, in the past that he's offered, TMT, Mayweather Promotions, who we know work hand in hand with Al Haymon and the PBC. They have offered them, a couple different deals for Tank to co-promote Tank. You know what I'm saying? And Eddie Hearn said that these guys didn't even want to talk about it. They just said no. They didn't want to hear about the deal. They didn't want to negotiate the deal. They just flat out said no. You know what I'm saying? I watched a couple interviews with Mayweather Promotions CEO Leonard Ellerby, man, where he says, what the fuck I need Eddie Hearn for? You know what I'm saying? We don't need to work with Eddie Hearn. You know what I'm saying? And, I kind of get where he's coming from, man, being the way that Eddie Hearn came over here into America. He rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, man. He came in, you know what I mean, making statements that he's going to take over the sport, that nobody in America knows how to promote fights, and he made references back. There hasn't been a real promoter in the state since Don King, and he was taking a lot of jabs at the promoters in the United States, man. And maybe the PBC and Al Haymon and Mayweather Promotions, man, they took it personal. You know what I'm saying? But you got to think about Spence. Spence, before Spence had this Mikey Garcia fight, before it was signed, sealed, and delivered, Spence didn't have a fight. I remember he was on Twitter. He put out a post saying that he needed a fight. At the same time, Terence Crawford had just beat Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? So both of these guys were free, and Top Rank, let it be known that they wanted to make the fight. Earl Spence, let it be known that he wanted to fight, but the fight did not get made. You know what I'm saying? The fight did not get made because Al Haymon and the PBC did not want to make the fight. You know what I'm saying? They had their own plan, their own vision, and I'm not saying that nothing's wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you the facts of what's going on here. They had their own vision of what they wanted to do, and their plan is to, obviously, to fight Mikey Garcia, but their plan after that is to have a unification in-house. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that's to build leverage for maybe a super fight with Terence Crawford down the line. You know what I'm saying? It's no secret that PBC has a whole lot of talent, man. They have the most talent out of all of the other promoters, man. I would say combined. You know what I'm saying? PBC has all type of weight classes, man, but especially the welterweight division. They got the welterweight division on lockdown. You understand what I'm saying? But is it hurting the sport? Is it hurting the sport for Al Haymon to, you know what I'm saying, to keep all his fights in-house? I know historically that, promoters in the past have all done it. You know what I'm saying? They have all kept their fights in-house. Bob Arum has done it for years. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a big enough fight and there's enough financial gain for all parties involved, I believe a deal can be made. You know what I'm saying? I think that Bob Arum is just a little salty right now because he doesn't have a lot of talent for his top fighter. You know what I'm saying? He don't have a lot of talent for Terence Crawford to face, and he doesn't have a lot of talent for Vasily Lomachenko to face. All those guys are with PBC, and PBC, they don't need Bob Arum. They got a lot of guys. They got a lot of welterweights. They got a lot of junior welterweights. They got a lot of lightweights. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of fighters where they don't necessarily need to go outside of PBC and work with another promotional company. You know what I'm saying? And the question is it hurting the sport of boxing? Is it bad for us, the fans? You know what I'm saying? Why do we gotta suffer because these guys have some type of vendetta against each other? Now, we all know that Bob Arum, when Al Haymon first came on the scene with the PBC, Al Haymon, Oscar De La Hoya, they sued Al Haymon. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this is like a middle finger to them, like, fuck y'all. Excuse my French, but I don't need y'all. Y'all tried to get me out of the sport. Y'all tried to do me dirty, and I'm doing my own thing over here. You know what I'm saying? Is that may be how Al Heyman's thinking. That may be why Al Heyman is not working with these guys. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to see the best fights, man. I just want to see the best fight the best, man. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, man. I don't think that we're ever going to see Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. If we see them, I believe it'll be when one of them or both of them are way out of their prime, man. Because Terence Crawford just signed a new deal with Top Rank. Errol Spence is doing his own thing over at PBC. With his next fight with Mikey Garcia, should he be successful with which a lot of people think he will be. This could possibly make Errol Spence a mega superstar. You understand what I'm saying? And then he'll be in the driver's seat for real, and be able to call all the shots. You understand what I'm saying? But I think Bob Arum is just a little upset, man, because he doesn't have the fighters for Terence Crawford to fight. All the welterweights are over there at PBC. All the the titles are over there with PBC. You got the WBA champion Keith Thurman over there. You got the WBC champion Sean Porter over there, and the WBO. Who's the WBO champion? WBO welterweight champion. Oh, that's Terence Crawford. Okay, I'm missing a belt. Oh, the IBF is Errol Spence. Yeah, all the other three welterweight titles are with the PBC. You know what I'm saying? So of course, if they ever wanted to unify, they're gonna have to come to knocking on Al Heyman's door, man. And right now it doesn't look like he's gonna open that door up. You know what I'm saying? So but the fight with Tevin Farmer and Tank. That's a fight that I really want to see, man, because it's been building up for a couple years now, man. These guys really don't like each other, man. They be really crossing the line on social media, throwing a lot of verbal jabs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of insults, and I believe that there's really bad blood between those two guys, man. As far as when they getting in the ring, I don't know if we'll see it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll see it. I think we'll see that before we see Spence and Bud. You know what I'm saying? I think Farmer and Tank, fight may happen because of Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is not Bob Arum. But Eddie Hearn has said some crazy shit too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know. My question to all you, my subscribers, and all those tuning in is, what do you think about this, man? Is Al Heyman doing the boxing injustice? You know what I'm saying? Is he hurting the sport of boxing? Does Bob Arum make valid points by saying the things that he said? Or does Al Heyman have the right to do whatever the hell he wants to do and keep his fights in-house? One thing for sure, though, I never heard of a fighter who was working with Al Heyman disappointed, man. You know what I'm saying? He keeps his fighters happy. He pays them very well. The only thing that I heard, fighters might say is that, they want to know when they're fighting, and they want to be fighting more regularly. This was in the past, you know what I'm saying? Now he got these deals with Fox and the new deal with Showtime. These guys, I believe, will have the dates that they want to have, But we'll see, man. We'll see if these the Game of Thrones, I call them, Golden Boy, Matchroom, Top Rank, the PBC and TMT, Mayweather Promotions, if these guys can get together and work together, man. Because if you think about it, Eddie Hearn's working with Golden Boy, Golden Boy's working with Top Rank's working with Matchroom, and everybody is working together, except for the PBC. The PBC may throw them a bone here and there, man, but it's very rare. And they got all the fighters. They don't need to, but is it right? Is it good for boxing? Is it good for us, the boxing fans, for them to do this? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I appreciate you joining in. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like button. And if you dislike this video, go ahead and hit the dislike button. But make sure you hit it twice. Until next time, peace. I'll holler back.